Hello, 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 Ann, hello, Becky. Can you guys hear me? Can you see me? Everything okay? Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, let me check my audio. Audio. Hello, hello, hello. Hi. Yes. Okay, good. You hear me? And I assume you can see me as well. So, welcome to Wind Down Tuesday. I hope you brought your libations with you. Today, hey Kathy, today has been another one of those days where I really need this wine. It has really been the past 2 days. The past 2 days have been pretty intense. I'll tell you guys about it. I've gone through it. Trust and believe I have gone through it. So, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody is well. I see that the weather was beautiful in north central Texas today, and it was beautiful in Virginia, and it was beautiful here in Maryland. So I guess we're lucky enough to get a little sun. Hi Val, how you doing? Thanks for joining. People are coming on, and tonight I'm going to. Well, we had a conversation a couple of times talking about the jumbo hoop, splitting the hoop, and I know someone or a couple of people asked me to do a demo on it, and well, I can't really do a demo. I'm not set up for that yet. I need to have another camera so I can, you know, go to the machine and be at the computer and all of that kind of stuff yet. And I haven't gotten I'm not that sophisticated yet, so I haven't gotten that stuff set up yet. But what I did put together a video of me doing it, a little short video. I think it's around 15 minutes. But what I would like to do, when we get a few more people on, hopefully pretty soon, we'll get a few more people on because it's still not quite 8 o'clock. So I would like to show it, but we can discuss it as it is playing and ask questions, give advice, any concerns, whatever, because I did have some issues that I want to talk about, which I've had the issues before, but not this bad. So I don't know what happened. Something happened. But I tell you, it gave me a run for my money. I tell you, it was definitely wine time after I got done with what I went through yesterday and again today with trying to do this video, and not so much the video itself, but the oh, thank you. I'm glad the jacket looks good because trust and believe me, that was a headache. That was a headache. And that's what I was talking about. I did that one on this video that we're going to look at, and it challenged me. And like I said, I've had some challenges before. I've not always been 100% successful with doing my jackets, but I've always nothing as serious as what happened today. So it was just interesting that it happened. Hi, Mary. Hi, Marissa. Thanks for stopping in. I was just telling the group that we're going to talk about splitting designs today and using the jumbo hoop. And I was telling them about some of the issues. Well, I didn't tell you about the issues I had. I just said that I was going to tell you about the issue. So I'm going to give it a few more minutes, maybe 2 or 3 more minutes, and then we'll go ahead and start watching that and um, chime in. And like I said, anybody that has done the jungle hoop, jacket back, stuff like that, and have had issues, let me know. And if you haven't had any issues, let me know that as well, because that would be um, that would be perfect. That would give us something to talk about. Doesn't denim do good for embroidery? Love it. Yes, it does do very well. What I have found though, and I don't know if any of you have done it, how many of you have actually used a 14 by 14 jumbo hoop if you have a 10 needle machine? Can you just let me know? Because I don't know if any of you are um, have tried it or have a hoop, have a jumbo hoop or have a 10 needle machine. So if you have a 10 needle machine, because I can't remember who does and who doesn't, trust me, I can't remember. I can't remember all of that. But if you have one and you've done a jacket back on a 10 needle machine using the 14 by 14 hoop, if you let me know that you've done that, just say, yes, I have, or whatever. That would be helpful. And today is Tuesday, and it is Shirley's wind down. So I have my Moscato. And so I hope you guys have something as well, because trust and believe, I need this. But it has been quite interesting, quite interesting. So, like I said, I'm gonna give it a few more minutes. It's 8:03 right now. Maybe we'll get 2 or 3 more people to pop in by 8:05 or so, and then I'll go ahead and get started with the video. And please, please, please ask questions. I don't want this to put anybody to sleep. Hopefully you won't, and you'll look at it and you'll have questions. I have an 8 by 14 hoop to go with my brother persona, and you've never used it. Okay, 8 by 14. Now, if I am correct, is that a single needle machine that looks like one of the big multi needle machines? If that's correct, let me know, Marissa. And Becky, you say you have not used the 14 by 14 hoop, but you have a what did you say? You have a, I think I lost your 18 by 8 by 14. And Mary, you don't have a hoop that big. Okay. You need that hoop for your PRS. Anne says she needs that hoop for her PRS 100. Well, I tell you, I love the hoop, and I'm glad I got it. And I've used it quite a bit. I've done several jacket backs and other things where I've done it on the jumbo hoop, and I've also used Embrilliance. So Becky, you say you have a 10 needle machine, but you don't have a 14 by 14 hoop. Okay. Now I don't know if it's a brother or not. I know brother does have their own 14 by 14 hoop, as well as Mighty Hoop has the 14 by 14 magnetic hoop, and I use all magnetic hoops unless I absolutely have to use a regular hoop, just because that is so much easier for me. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see my video about trying to hoop with arthritic hands, which I do have. The the Mighty Hoops saved my life. It really did. Okay, Marissa, you said it's a single needle that looks like a big one. Okay, all right, that's what I thought. And it's a single needle, but not a flat one. And Becky, yes, it's a brother. And Kathy, welcome. You had the 14 by 14. and a Java PR1050X. Oh, and you have the, okay, I'm sorry. And you have the 1050X and you have the 14 by 14. So, Kathy, since you have a 14 by 14 hoop, have you used it? And if so, how has that worked for you? Let me know in the comments so we can talk about it. Why does that keep going away? Oh, okay. That's why. So, I just discovered how to put your comments up so everybody can see them. I'm learning as I go. But yeah, Kathy, you do have the 14 by 14 and you have a PR1050X. And my question is, have you had an opportunity to use that? And Becky, you have a 10 needle machine, but I think you say you have not um, done the big jumbo hoop yet. You have the 8 by 14. Yeah. I have not used the 14 by 14 hoop, but you have the 8 by 14. Yeah. Hi from Woodbridge, Tisha Banks. Hey, I used to live in Woodbridge. Hey, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Well, and hi, Pearl. How are you? I've not seen your name before either. Welcome. Thank you for popping in our little group here. So, what I'm going to do, it is now 8:08. What I was telling everybody is that tonight we're talking about, at least initially, we're talking about the jumbo hoop and doing a split design and using the 10 needle machine and how all that plays in together. And since I'm not set up to do a live demo, and it would be a lot really difficult to do that process on a live anyway, I did a little video and I narrowed it down as much as I could to try to get it right at, I wanted it at 10 minutes, but I couldn't quite get it there. So anyway, Tisha, you said that you have a Baby Lock Venture, and it is a 10 needle machine. And that's a wonderful machine, very nice. It looks just like the Brother 10 by 1055X. So it's a Baby Lock, but they're basically sisters. And Marissa, you have used the split hoop, the 5 by 12 for the PE 800, and it works great. And I remember you said that, if I'm not mistaken, I think you said that you were able to do that with Embrilliance Essential. Welcome, Deborah. How you doing? So, with that being said, let me go ahead and put this little video up, and we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you my video, and I have to tell you, and we'll talk about it. How you doing, TR? How you doing? We'll talk about it when the video is over with. So hang in there. So here we go.
Hopefully you can see the screen well enough, especially the icons up here. Let me see if I can get my mouse working correctly so we can get up here. Hopefully you can see me moving my mouse around, and I'm trying to see, I see it on camera, so I'm hoping you can. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to start off with how I do it. I have Embrilliance open, and then I have a hoop that is small. It is actually my jumbo hoop, so I am going to go ahead and let me see if I can go in here and get that started. So what I need to do is let me go back. I went into preference, and that pulls up your hoop sizes. And I'm going to go and click multi-position, um, multi-position jumbo hoop, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply that. hit OK. Now you can see where the hoop itself has split. So the next thing I'm going to do is go into my file, but let me see, I got to put my USB stick in. I forgot to do that. Okay, I found the correct USB, put it in, and I have selected my design. And my design is this pretty abstract lady with the bandeau knots. And I have it set at, the size is 8 and 9/16 by 12 and 13/16. So basically a 9 by 13 design. Now the hoop will stitch a 13 3/4 by 13 3/4, but I don't like to push it that far. I like to have some room to make sure everything is going to stitch correctly and we're not going to have any injuries or injury to my machine, hit any needles or anything. So with that being said, it's in here, the hoop is split. Now I need to split the design. I go into utility, I go down here, and right here you'll see where it says split into hoop, and I click split into hoop, and then the software recognizes that and splits it. And as you can see, it is split because you can see half of it here, and then if I hit, you see the other half. So this design has been split. And now that I've split it, instead of it having 21 colors, it says it is 35 colors with 15 colors on the top, and then it's going to be 20 colors on the back, on the bottom, I'm sorry. So that's not 35 different colors, it's basically 35 different color stops. And but I don't have to switch out any threads, so I don't think that's going to be something that I'm going to have to do with this particular design, which is great. But anyway, I'm getting ready to save this so I can take it over to the machine, and I'm saving. Now I have the design in the machine, and this is one of the most important things that I want to point out. As you can see, there's 3 designs. The top one is your whole design together, and then you have design number 1, and then you'll have a design number 2. So when you're ready to start, you're going to of course start with halves, because it does the top half, then you flip it and it will do the bottom half. And I don't know why my colors aren't showing up on here right, but I have my threads. So this is how it is going to look. That is how you're going to stitch it out, and it won't be any I won't be able to trace it or do anything like that. So oh, it just told me this embroidery frame cannot be used, which is true because I forgot to put my B-arm on. So don't ever forget to put your B-arm on. Even though this fit on here, you have to use the B-arm with your jumbo hoop. So I will be back in a minute. I keep forgetting. I've had issues today, so forgive me. But I will get the B-arm on and then we'll be ready to go. Okay, so what the hoop is on the machine, and 2 important things I want to point out, well actually 3. 2 before I actually get to the screen, and that is number 1, when you're using a jumbo hoop, you need to use your table. So it's very important that you have your table for stability for your large hoop. Number 2, you must put the B-arm on. The frame will not fit on the A-arm. Well, it won't work on the A-arm, and the machine will tell you that it's not working, that it doesn't, you can't use that frame. So remember to put your table on and put your A-arm take your A arm off, put the B arm on. And one more thing, the bracket goes down. So when you're hooping your design, the bracket is on the bottom. So those are three things. So now that we're done with that, let me show you the screen. This is the original design. And as you can tell, it has been split. And the way it is stitched out on the machine, you're going to stitch out number 1 first. And when that's done, you'll go through the process, which I'll show you, with the snowman. So you need to get your snowman out. That's very important. And then you will stitch out number 2. So that is how the process is. So I'm going to go ahead and hit my number 1 again. I'm going to hit set because you can't trace. And, well, you might be able to trace, but I'm not going to. I don't think that's going to work. Anyway, I am going to go ahead and hit embroidery. And the next thing I have to do is get all of my colors assigned. And I actually have, believe it or not, 9 colors. But I have approximately 35 stops, I think. And I'm going to slow this down. Starting off at 500 probably will speed it up. So I'm going to go ahead and sign my colors. And once I have all of these assigned, then I will show you how it's going to start off stitching and come back when it's time to flip. I'll show you the flipping process. And then, like I said, once that's done, the top half is done, we flip, second half is done, I'll show you the finished product. So now I'm getting ready to start stitching. I did trace it out. That was my mistake. I don't know what in the world I was thinking about, but I did trace it, and I got my colors set up, and then we're ready to go. Well, there has been a significant change in this project. I was trying to do my lady with the bandeau knots, and when I started the stitching, I realized that one, it was hooped incorrectly because it was up too high and too close to the frame. So I had to redo that, and it was actually too large for my jacket. Don't know how that happened because I did do the measurement in my Embrilliance and it was supposed to fit. But once I got it on the machine, it said it was much larger than what I initially thought it was. So, well, after much trepidation, heartache, and pain, I am finally stitching. Hopefully it will work. I will tell you all about my woes tomorrow night. So now I have completed the first half, and it is asking me to embroider the next segment, and that's when the snowman comes into play. And if all goes well, it's going to recognize it and all of those kind of wonderful things, and everything will work out. My fingers are crossed because today has not been a good day. But let's go. I'm going to say okay. And it says, please set the positioning mark within the red line, then press OK. So let me move the camera up just a tad bit so you can see what I have to do. So right here you see an upside down snowman within this square. And my job is to get a snowman positioned in that area. My hand and eye coordination is not the best in the world, So it usually takes me a little bit to do this, but I have to go over here and I'm going to let it stay on the LCD panel because you'll see my hand go under here and try to find this snowman and position it in the right spot. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect, but it needs to be pretty close in order for it to get a good recognition. And I did better than what I thought I was going to do. So I am now getting ready to stitch the bottom half of this design. The machine has recognized the snowman, and it says that the positioning mark is recognized. Please remove the positioning mark, then select the next design. So everything has been set up where it is able to see the snowman, which is here, and this is the end of the design, and I'm going to take that off as requested. Then I'm going to hit OK, and it will allow me to set up the next part. Now you can see that the bottom part has joined the top part here. This is what this part here I've already stitched. This is the new part that I got to, I don't know what I did, but I got to fix that, and I must have did something here. But I'll fix that and get it back in where it's supposed to be. Okay. Oh, that was scary. Got that back. So now I'm going to move on to get the colors in. So I started on the second half, and it appears that everything is stitching out the way it's supposed to be. And I'll go ahead and let this stitch out. Then we shall be done with this design, and we'll be able to see the benefit of using a jumbo hoop. And sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's difficult. It just depends. But we can discuss all of that Tuesday night about the whole process. So I'm going to let this stitch out, and then that'll be the end of this hoop demonstration. So here's the finished product. Had a few issues that I'll discuss, but was able to recover and get it done and complete it, and I'm pretty happy with it. Could have been better, and again I'll discuss that. Several things I didn't like. I don't know, part of it I'm sure was operator's error. The other part I'm thinking was either the way it was digitized or how the machine read it, which I guess goes back to digitizing. I don't know. But this is the finished product, so I got it done. So I will talk to you on Tuesday night.
Okay, that was it. So it turned out better. Well, let me tell you, long story. I started on this project yesterday because I wanted to have it done for tonight. And I started off with that beautiful design that I've been wanting to stitch on that jacket for a long time. the lady with the bandeau knots in the hair. That's the one I wanted. And like I said, when I did the split and everything in Embrilliance the first time, it worked fine. So I took it to the machine, and as I mentioned, when it started stitching, it was on the upper seam, and it was stitching so close to the hoop itself because I didn't trace, and I knew it was wrong, so I immediately stopped it, took it out, got my Peggy stitch eraser, got rid of all of those stitches, and I didn't unhoop anything, but I started over. And so when I went back to Embrilliance to resize that design, I couldn't do it. It would not, well, I could do it, but it wouldn't save to my stick. So every time I took it to the machine read it incorrectly. It had lines going everywhere. It was just crazy. It was just useless. I did that 3 or 4 times, and then I even went and located the original design that had not been manipulated at all because I said, well, I've just corrupted this design. I even got a brand new USB stick with nothing on it, so it wouldn't be any corruption on there. And the exact same thing happened. I could not split that design where it was readable on the machine. And I have no idea what that was, why it happened. If anybody has had this issue or know or have an idea, please let me know because that drove me crazy. I worked with that for hours, seriously trying to figure it out. So then I went on and decided to go ahead and do the one with the queen because I was going to do that one on a different jacket and it was already split. I had to touch it. I said, this is what I'm going to use. So that's how I ended up with a different design. And so that was that. So then again, yesterday, I'm stitching along. Everything's going fine. Got the top half done. It was time to do the flip and put the snow, it's supposed to tell you where to put the snowman when you do your little manipulation with the square and everything. And I did it, but I knew when I did it, it didn't look like it was placed. It didn't make sense where it was placed. And sure enough, the machine would not recognize it. I did that. I messed with that thing for hours just last night. I didn't go to bed till 1 o'clock because I was determined to do it. And it wouldn't. I flipped that thing 6, 7 times, and it still would not recognize that snowman. And every time you put it into the machine, and you put the snowman on the first half, then you have to take it out and turn it around. You flip it around, you put it back in. Now, mind you, this is a jean jacket, so that's not an easy task. You put it back in, and then it has to do the whole process over, and then you flip it again. It doesn't recognize it. Then they tell you take it out and do it again. So you're constantly in and out, constantly in and out. And I think based upon that, I bent my number 10 needle. Uh, Needle bar, I think. Something crazy happened, so I haven't used it. But I think with the gene going back and forth on it, I bent it. Anyway, so I left the machine on all night long. I didn't even turn it off. I just forget about it. Turn the lights off, went to bed. Got up this morning, and after saying all my prayers, I said, okay, let's do this. So something told me just turn the darn thing off. Just turn it off. Because, I am one with computers resetting. And I know that it's supposed to save your design where you stop. And I was hoping with fingers crossed, prayers, and everything, it was going to do that. So I shut the machine off. I even got on Facebook and put a post into the brothers' Facebook site to see if anybody in there had any idea what to do. But anyway, when I turned the machine back on, it did say, "Do you want to go back to to the original recall?" And I said yes. So it took me back to the beginning of reading the first half, Snowman. And when it did that, it took me to the right spot. So the initial reading of the snowman, where you actually saw me put my hand under there and do the snowman, it wasn't in the right position anyway. I don't know why that happened, but it was not in the right position. So when I did it after the shutdown, it put it in the right position. Anybody have a clue? Because I don't. If you have a clue, let me know. So that's what allowed me to actually finish it. And as you saw, I bumped it and it got all out of whack. And I didn't even think about it until I was watching the video just a few minutes ago about hitting the center button. And who was that said, Becky? I think that was, uh, who was that? And I think said hit the center. Yeah, and you said to hit the center button. I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that until I was actually looking at the video just now, and I said, "Dummy, you should have hit the center button, and it would have gone right back where it needed to be." But nonetheless, I was able to get that part started. But that's not the end of the story. It started stitching. I had 18. It was 112 minutes for the second half. I at 700 um, stitches per minute. I had 18 minutes left. I started getting bird nests. I got three bird nests in a row, three of them, where I literally had to take everything off, and I had to cut up under there to get it off. Took it off, pull all the thread out, took the needle plate off, clean everything out. Did that. It did it the second time. I took it off, clean everything out. Then I even changed my bobbin case. I changed the bobbin thread. I said maybe it's not round. I use the magnetic ones, but you do have. It's possible to have defects and everything. So I oiled the machine. I did everything, and I changed the needle. Did it again. So number three, I said I've done everything I could think of except for rethread. So I did that too. That was the last thing to do, which I probably should have made that the first thing. I just rethreaded my that particular color, and it started working. So after three bird nests, so that was my story yesterday and today. So I'll tell you, I was so doggone tired of that jacket. I said I probably would never wear it. I was just sick of it. So that's what happened. So TRU says snowman be used with Embrilliance and single needle alliance or PRS 100. Um, it probably can, because you don't have snowman can be used with just a single garment. It doesn't have to be anything that you're flipping around or anything. It's just a placement to make sure that you are aligning your um, the needle is going to align where you want it to be. So yeah, TR, it can be. So her question is, can snowman be used with Embrilliance and single needle alliance or PRS 100? If anybody else have any other answers to that, but yeah, it can be. It can be. So somebody said that they couldn't find their snowman. And so, who is that? TP said that she used Target stickers with hers, and I have some of those too, somewhere. I don't remember where, but I know I have some. Okay, TR, I remember you said that you like your Durkee 8 by 14. I received mine. Do you only use sticky stabilizer with it? I think that's the only thing that you can use with the fast frames. I don't think you can use, because you have nothing to hold it down. you have to use the sticky stabilizer. So I think so. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure of that. Okay. So Leslie, you're saying you have a Peggy Stitch eraser. Oh, you got it today and had to do 24 fingertip tiles and she messed up one and it was a lifesaver. And I thank you for saying that. That you're sorry that I had to go through that. 'Cause I tell you, I was worn. I was so worn out. We've all been through that. A glass of wine is good. I'm glad to hear that I'm not the only one, but that drove me crazy. I had even talked to my girlfriend Andrea, she's on here, and I didn't talk to her. I texted. I told her. I told her. I think I told her that it was an epic fail and that I'm done. I mean I was just sending all kinds of emojis because I was like, I can't do this no more. I think I bit my 10 needle. I think I bit my 3 needle. It's like I just messed up. I just had a fit. And you said you use Snowman all your projects with all your embroidery machines. Okay, so that answers that question. That answers that question for who was asking about can you use it. And Becky said, I think I would have given up. And you know what? I was surprised at my own self. I even said, girl, you handled that one pretty good. You didn't even quit. You didn't get mad. You didn't even cut the machine. I just kept doing it. I said, I know I can do it. I know I can do it. I don't know why it's doing this, but I know I can do it. Charlie B's creation. Hi, how are you? And you said you did the same thing. What? Can you explain the same thing? Let me see if anybody I missed. But that was my story about getting that little 15-minute video together. It took me 10 hours to do a 15-minute video, messing around with that thing. And thankfully the jacket did come out nice. So I'm okay with that. The finished product did come out. But I was determined. I was determined this was going to work because I wanted to have the video because I know that we had discussed someone wanted me to talk about the hoop and the splitting. So with Embrilliance, I hope you guys were able. I know when I was looking at it on a smaller screen, I could tell that you couldn't see the icons as well as I had hoped. But hopefully, if you're familiar with Embrilliance at all, then you knew what icons that I was selecting to do it. But it is simple when it works. That you split your hoop, you split your design, and that's it. Pretty much, it's a click of the button. And so I honestly don't know what happened with that first design because I've never had that happen before. That's the first time that I've ever had it where it just didn't work. So I don't know, and I don't. Part of me wants to say because I was changing the size because I do know that can cause issues if you enlarge it too much because I think the recommendation is no more than 20% bigger or 20% smaller. I think that's what the recommendation is. And I think I went like 25% larger. So that may have been part of the problem. I don't know. But the initial one enlarged. It was just too big. It was just too big for that particular. Well, it was just too big. And if I had readjusted my jacket, it may have been able to fit because I didn't realize it until after I was actually done with this jacket behind me that I had more room at the bottom than I realized that I did, which I'm kind of glad because I didn't want it down too low, but it could have been more centered. The only issue, and you guys may can see that in the back, the jacket at the bottom has metal snaps on them, and if I had moved the um, hoop down further, then those snaps would have been in the way, and I don't think I would have gotten the closure that I needed. So I think that's the reason why I didn't do it. But I was looking at it, I said, "Oh, I had more room. I could have moved it down, so maybe the other one would have fit if I had known that." And so trying to see if I missed any questions that were asked while the video was going. I don't think so. So that's my deal with the video with the jumbo hoop with Embrilliance doing that. Now Embrilliance splits it wonderfully when it's working right. I really don't think it was an Embrilliance issue with the splitting of that particular design. I believe it was the design itself. Now, Tisha, you said for Durkee Easy Frames, you can use any stabilizer with them using, the clip. Okay, okay, that makes sense. I never thought about using clips with my Durkees because I always use the sticky stabilizer. I've always used that. But that was another one of my hesitation because I do have the uh, I think it's a 12 by 14 hoop for Durkees that I've never used because I wasn't sure that the sticky stabilizer would be enough for something that big. But that makes a lot of sense. I could use the sticky stabilizer as well as those super clips to secure the stabilizer. So thank you for that tip. I did not know that. Okay, you use those clips. Anne says she uses those clips too. They're lifesavers. So good. Great advice. Great advice. Thank you so much. And Leslie, you said you got your Peggy Stitch eraser today. It's a lifesaver. I tell you, if you don't have some type of stitch eraser, it doesn't necessarily have to be Peggy because there are other brands out there. The prices, from what I've seen, are comparable. I don't think there's a huge advantage one over the other as far as price. And maybe is how they function. I don't know because I've only used the Peggy, but they are a lifesaver. Trust me. Get one if you don't have one because it will help you a whole lot. I know when I very 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 first started embroidering, and it was advised to get one, and I did because every time someone told me to get some, I went and got it. So I got one, and trust and believe I used it. I have actually gotten a second head just in case that one got too dull because I've used my Peggy Stitch eraser, and it does save you. It saves you. Okay, Charlie B's creation. What is? Do you have a channel? And do you? Where are you from? Because I've not met you before. And same with you, Tisha Banks. Your name is new as well. And Charlie, you mentioned you had a bird's nest. Yeah. And I normally don't get bird nests. I get them every once in a while. But today I got three in a row. That just took me. I couldn't figure, and I still don't know why. I still don't know why. I guess the only thing that I can think of is that I needed a new needle because I kind of thought about, okay, it's time for a new needle, and my thread must have not been threaded correctly, even though when I checked it, everything was in place. But I did do the redo the hoop part, so that's the only thing that I could think of that was not in place because once I oiled it, I checked under the needle plate, which it wasn't anything under there. I was able to pick everything out, but I checked under there. I took the plate off. I checked under there. I oiled it. I changed my bobbin casing. I changed the bobbin thread itself, and I use magnetic thread, so I changed that. And then I changed the needle, and then subsequently I ended up rethreading. So I did all of those things, and those are the steps that you probably have to go through when you're doing bird nests. Definitely check your bob and definitely check your how your top thread is threaded and the needle, the needle. Those are the things that I remember that you're supposed to check. Okay, Tisha, you said Durkee suggests using the number 60 super clip. So anybody that's interested that has a Durkee frame or a fast frame, any fast frame, Durkee fast frame or just whatever the other ones are, and use the super number 60 super clips. I don't have any, so I guess I have to get some because I have always used the sticky stabilizer, and that's probably the reason why I haven't used my big one just to test it out. So that thank you for that tip. That is good to know. Good to know. And Tisha, you say you do not have a channel. Okay. Where are you from, if you don't mind sharing? And the same with you, Charlie Bees, if you're still on here, if you can share where you're from and if you have a channel, because we like to support everybody. And I saw Crafty come in. I don't know if she's still on here, but I saw her pop in when the video was showing. So if you're on here, hi, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I saw you pop in, so hopefully you're still on. And I think I've spoken to everybody so far. Oh, Tisha, I see you're from Woodbridge. I forgot. Good. You're from Woodbridge. My son lives in Woodbridge, and I lived in Woodbridge for about no, 3 or 4 years. 3 or 4 years. I lived in Woodbridge. So I like Woodbridge. I miss it. I miss it. Okay, so you guys, what else do you want to talk about today? Did whoever asked about the jumbo hoop and the splitting of the doing the split design? I hope that answered your question. I know this is going to be a replay, so if you're not on here tonight, then hopefully you'll watch it. And for those of you that are going to watch the replay, I always forget to say hi to you guys. Thanks for stopping by and watching the replay because I know a lot of people do end up coming by and watching the replay. So I do appreciate that, and hopefully if you got any questions, always ask the questions, please. And Kathy, you have encouraged me to try stitching on my jacket and need to get a magnetic hoop. Now, for me, I wouldn't try a jacket without a magnetic hoop because I think it would be extremely difficult to hoop with the regular two piece, the regular hoop. I think. I know I couldn't do it because I can't even do a towel. So the magnetic hoop would certainly help. But go ahead and try it. I like I said, I've stitched on several jackets. Matter of fact, I don't think I have a jean jacket except for, well, I take that back. I have two in the waiting room, and I already have know what I want to put on them. Oh, that reminds me of something that happened to me when I first got my machine. And obviously, I didn't know what I was doing, but I wanted to get all fancy dancy and fast. And I had this beautiful pink jean jacket, and in the brothers, the one of the designs in the brother 1055X machine is this array of butterflies. It's a big butterfly, then I think it's two or three small butterflies on the side. You probably know what I'm talking about. Why did I pick that design? And I'm just starting. I wanted this design. It was so pretty to me. I had all the colors picked out. It was beautiful, and and it was stitching wonderfully. I mean, it was almost done. It was over half done. Then the message came up saying that my hoop wasn't large enough. Of course, I had no clue what that meant, and it didn't make sense to me because it's been stitching all of this time, and all of a sudden it's not large enough. That didn't make sense to me. It did not make sense to me, and I didn't know what to do. So I ended up naturally taking it off the machine, and I made the mistake of unhooping it because I didn't know any better and I didn't know who to ask. But I'm pretty sure you guys are aware that if that comes up, what most likely has happened because there's a lot of movement and vibration, your arm may be a little loose, and all you have to do is tighten it back up, and that solves that problem. I did not know that. That was over 2 years ago. Didn't have a clue, but I just thought about that. So that's a little tidbit for anybody that may not be aware of that. If it comes up and you've been stitching just fine, and you know it fits because it's stitching, and then all of a sudden you get that error message saying that you need to change your hoop. Yeah, you tell the machine, no, I don't. I don't need to change the hoop. I just need to just tighten your arm up, and that should take care of it. So hopefully, somebody got some can use that information. Okay, Tisha, did you enlarge the design to fit the jumbo hoop, or was it already the larger size? I enlarged it, and I don't know if you heard me earlier about about the issue I had with Embrilliance with my very first design. So if you go back and look at this video at all, the video that I was showing, I started off with one design that ended up with a different design because I had issues with the first design. And part of the issue, I think, was me enlarging it. And I do know that that's a risk when you're doing designs, enlarging them. And you, you can't enlarge them on the machine, not when you're doing the jumbo hoop. That's another thing that I wanted to express. When you are doing a split design, you have to put the design already split, whatever software you may be using to split it. You have to put that on a USB port, USB stick, and put it in the machine and leave it in the machine. You can't take it out the machine and stitch because I know with other with a regular design that you're stitching, it doesn't have to stay in the stick does not have to stay in the machine while it's stitching, but with the split design, it does. So you have to make sure that you put it in there and leave it in there. And back to enlarging it, I know there's a percentage, and if I'm not mistaken, it's 20% over, 20% less that they say is a safe zone for you to enlarge or to shrink a design. And I did go over that, so I pushed the envelope. Now, if it was not a split design, what I would have done, I would have adjusted the size right there on the machine because I use that often. And hopefully you guys are aware that you do have the ability to adjust the size of most of your designs. And if you hit the correct icon, it maintains the density, so it's going to stitch out well. But I couldn't use that because you can't do that with a split design. That comes from brother. Okay, Marissa, you say you use a 1.125 inch by 96 inch white plastic end cap to keep my stabilizer on my Durkee hoops. You cut them to the size of your hoop. And you buy it from Lowe's. I don't know. Okay, a white plastic end cap to keep your stabilizer on your Durkee hoops. You cut them to the size of your hoop and you buy them from Lowe's. Okay. Okay, Kathy, you say yes, it is 20%. Okay, I thought it was 20%, but my brain doesn't always uh, hold what it should hold. I'll think about something, can't come up with the answer until 2 days later, then it pops in my head. The little men in my head are getting real slow. So this is good information from Marissa. Anybody that's interested in other things that you can use to hold your stabilizer on your Durkee hoop. I never thought about using anything but the sticky stabilizer, but I'm glad to hear this because that eliminates getting all that sticky residue on your hoops, which I don't like. And I do clean mine. I've seen some that people don't ever clean them, and that ain't cute. So mine gets sticky to a degree, and then I had to get all that mess off of there. So if you don't use the sticky stabilizer, then that prevents that issue. So good information. Glad to hear. I'm not quite sure plastic end cap. That's a good something that I need to check into. Anybody's interested in that, just you can write that down, and maybe that's something that you can do. Okay. Do you use your Durkee a lot, Marissa? Because I don't use it a lot. I use my Durkees for garments or anything that I can't hoop with the mighty hoops that I have. And there are things like during the holidays, the stockings, or if you're doing the thumb mitts, so you don't have to take them apart. Let me see what else I've used it for. Anything that like a pocket or something that I can't. use my mighty hoop for, that's what I'll turn to. Because actually, I have a canvas bag over here that has a pocket on the front, and it is not big enough for me to. I can't use my 5x5, so I'm going to use the Durkee for that. So I'm glad to hear about. But I probably have used sticky stabilizer because it's a pocket on the front, and I'm not going to be able to go around with it. But the sticky stabilizer be fine. And then the other thing that I've used it for was I did a lot of I did several baby caps for my great granddaughter, and I used the Durkee frame for that because it was so small. And I do have a small um, regular frame, but I never think about using a regular regular hoop. I never think about it, so I didn't think about it at all. Because I know when I've done some monograms on the on your cuff, um, I've not used that. So yeah, I know when I was going back to some of these comments and stuff because I know I missed some things while the video was on, and um, okay. Mary, I don't know if you're still on here. I'm just not seeing your name, Mary. I don't know if I shouted out to you or not because I was trying to keep up with everybody that came in while the video was showing, and I don't recall shouting out to you, Mary. I think I did, Leslie. You asked about you want to learn how to use the snowman. Um, well, it's just a target um, aid, best thing I can think of, because your camera reads where it is and it pinpoints where you want to start your stitching. If you like want to get it in the middle or center or whatever. When I was doing, I put a video up doing left chest logo for an order I had, and I was using the snowman mostly because the ones that I did for adults, I used my Hoop Master hooping system, so I didn't really need to use the snowman there. But when I start doing the toddlers, I don't have the kids Hoop Master stand, so I was using the adult one, but not the one where you put the shirt over there, but just the small one where you use your 5x5. But there was no way for me to make sure it was in the center. And so I used the snowman for every one of those shirts. I measured them out, and then where I found the center point is where I put the snowman. And so when I put it on the machine, it would recognize it and make sure that it started off at the center. So that's how I don't use the snowman all the time. I believe it was who said they use it all the time. Somebody on here. I believe it was Ann Spielbeck says she uses hers all the time. I believe that came from her. If not, shout out who said it. But I don't use it all the time, but I do use it. And Marissa, you said I used them a lot at first because I didn't know about Mighty Hoops. And I have a few Mighty Hoops now and love them. I just got the hooping station and love the Mighty Hoops even more. Yes, I love my Mighty Hoops. I I read about when I was getting ready to get my multi needle machine because I had already gotten, and I don't know if you guys, like I said on my video I did about the arthritic hands, I mentioned the fact that when I was still using my single needle machine to embroider all the time, and still, of course, I was having difficulty hooping because I was doing towels and just whatever I wanted to because I'm trying to learn how to embroider. So I'm embroidering everything I could find, and so but I was having difficulty with the hooping. And somebody must have mentioned, and I don't know who to give credit to, but some kind of way I found out that they had the magnetic hoops on Amazon where it's a metal hoop and then you have the little metal the round magnets where am I? The round magnets. So I bought that. I bought a 5x7 and I bought a 4x4. And that's what I started using. Again, I wasn't using the regular ones. I was using that for everything. And I was either using that or I was floating, one of the two. And so when I decided that I was going to get a 10 needle machine, I was reading up about a lot of stuff and ran across Mighty Hoop. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is the answer to my prayer. And I went on and got Mighty Hoop in the very beginning when I got my 10 needle machine. So they basically came at the same time pretty much because I knew that that's what I was going to be doing going forward was using. I got the hooping station, the whole system, um, but I didn't. I only had the 5x5 hoop, but I had the whole station and stuff. And then over time, I've collected more and more hoop size. And Leslie, there's a video on YouTube showing you how to use them. That's how I found out about the plastic end cap. Okay. So I guess if I want to find out, I could just put plastic end caps to use with Durkee frames, I guess, would hopefully pop that up. And you said that the end caps, let me put that up. The end caps are $9.98. Okay, so that's good information for everybody. Thanks for sharing that. So we got two different things that we can use with the Durkee frames versus using the sticky stabilizer, because again, the sticky stabilizer is good and it works. I've not had any issues with it, and it's tearaway, and I like that part as well. Everything you can't use, can't do tearaway with, but I've been happy with what I have stitched with my tearaway, but I have not used my big jumbo frame, my 12 by 14 Durkee, mainly because I didn't think that the tearaway would work well. So now I'm glad to know that I'm not stuck with that. I have options. So good, good. And Kathy, you say you love your Mighty Hoops, and I love mine as well. I am 100% in love with Mighty Hoop, and they have quite a few sizes, quite a few sizes, and they have the infant hooping station, the children hooping station. They have extenders for the regular hooping station. If you have the need for, I think it's over, I think it's over 2x. They You probably would want to use the extender. And the reason I said that is because I had some 3X shirts that I had to do. That's the largest size that I've done. And it was it wasn't a struggle so much, but I knew if I had the extender, it would have been an easier hooping. So anything over 2x, I think the extender would be perfect to use. And so I know if Andrea is still on here, I think she has the hooping station extender, and I think she's used it. So you might want to, if you don't mind, you can chime in and say anything about your experience with that. And let me see. So TR, you said you've tried the clips and painter's tape, and you said sticky stabilizer has not been your friend. Is that because it doesn't stick well enough, or you don't like the residue? Marissa, yes, over 2 times. My youngest son is a bodybuilder, and I bought the extender just for him. Okay, over 2x. Okay, yeah. So that's kind of what I was thinking. Because, like I said, when I used the 3x, I could tell that I would have been able to. It just would have been a better fit had I had the extender. Because I hadn't done the 3x before. I had done 2x quite a few times, but I had not done a 3x before. And when I did that, I said, yeah, an extender would have been a good choice. So it's definitely worth getting. If it, and I don't think it costs that much. I don't think so. I don't think it's $100. I don't think so. I don't remember. I looked it up, but I don't remember what the price was. And I am going to look up those plastic end caps because that sounds like a good choice. It does. It does. So how many of you ladies have a glass of wine? You know it's wine down time now. You got to join in the club here and get you some libation going. Something that will relax you. I don't see my girl Yola Bean. She didn't chime in tonight. I know it's nice and sunny and beautiful in California, and it is just 6 o'clock in California. So she's probably getting the kids together, having dinner with her husband, and all of that good stuff. Okay, Marissa, you said you love the fold and bag the fold and bag to fold your shirt. Is that a folding system that you use? Marissa, you said it's beautiful in Southern California finally. Yeah, you guys been getting it. That snow in California, I don't know if it hit over in your area, but that snow in California was something else. And now they're talking about possible flooding, which is kind of ironic because I know California's been suffering from drought for so long. Sounds great, but I'll have to settle for water. Well, I tell you what, if you don't want a glass of wine, get you some sparkling grape juice. You don't have to have the real deal because I had this bottle of wine. That that particular bottle of wine I've had 4 or 5 years. I'm not gonna lie, because I got it for a birthday present in when I was still living in Woodbridge. and we were in California, not California, Lord, Florida for 3 years, and I've been back here going on 2. So that tells you how old that bottle of wine was. And I kept keeping it for a special occasion. And I was told to quit keeping it for a special occasion and drink it up. So, because I had 3 bottles and I drank, well, I didn't drink it. It it was we drank it up. Put it that way. Anyway, this particular bottle I drank up. Nobody had this, but had any, but this particular bottle. But this is the last of it. So I don't I like to keep wine around, but I don't necessarily do it that often. But I do like to have a little glass of wine every once in a while. There's nothing wrong with that, and it does relax and help you have a good sleep. Okay, Andrew, you say Ken has the extender for $50, 49.95. So, Andrew, did you get yours from the? Okay, Deborah says the extender for larger garments sells for $47 at Hoopmaster. Okay, that's a little cheaper. And if you go through the 2 people that I know that are Mighty Hoop reps, you can save even more money possibly by saving tax because I do know that Jeanette at Baroka the Crafter. I'm not gonna ever get her. I'm gonna have to write her down her channel's name. But I know Jeanette is a Mighty Hoop um, rep, and then I know Mary, not Mary, not Mary, Kathy, Kathy Haig. I don't know if it's pronounced Haig, but it's Huang, something like that. Anyway, you can find her on Facebook with the Mighty Hoop something other. I just have her. I have her on speed dial on my phone, so I don't remember the name because I bought all of my Mighty Hoops except for the very first one from her. And anytime I need another Mighty Hoop, I mean, I actually have her number because we have actually spoken. She's very kind with that and stuff, and we uh, when I first started getting Mighty Hoops, she called me up or gave me her number. I called her up and we chit chat for a while about a whole bunch of stuff. Very, very nice lady. And like I said, I either text her in her Facebook uh, um, page or free call her up. This is what I need, and there it is. I get it. So I'm used to her, but I also want to support um, Jeanette as well. But basically, what I'm saying is, if you can get it for $47 at Hoopmaster, if you go through one of those ladies, you can save on the shipping, and that save you a few dollars. Okay, to dessert today, you right about that. Today you deserve that glass of wine. You right about that. Tell me about it. I couldn't wait till this evening to get this glass of wine because I said I need this wine because that was the craziest thing. Jeanette, YouTube is pronounced Bor Boriqua Sewing and Craft. Borica Sewing and Craft. Thank you. I know I forget the song. I watch her because I get notifications. I know that I don't know if you guys do or not, but there is a notification button on YouTube. If you hit that button, it will notify you with any of us that have a live stream. And so I get her notification. Crafty, I get your notification. And this is the only 2 that I have that I've hit the button on. Now, it must be some more because I still get some more notifications. Sometimes I just can't do it, but I do get notification when you guys are live. I know the other day she was in Miami with her sister, so I watched that and I know I think that was yesterday. I took a little break, Crafty, and I watched you do your silhouette rhinestone. I was watching you set up that beautiful sunflower that you did with the rhinestones and everything. I have done um, a design in silhouette, and then I cut it with my Cricut. Because for some, I have a silhouette cutting machine, and I've never really gotten it to. It's not friendly to me because I had a Cricut machine years ago when you used to have to put the cartridges in it because I used it for my scrapbooking when I was big into scrapbooking. So I had the old Cricut machine, and you had to buy the different designs and stuff, and they were on these cartridges that you put into the machine. I don't know if anybody's aware of that. That's been 15 plus years ago at least. But anyway, that's how I felt. I first knew about Cricut. So when I bought my Cricut machine, cutting machine for my embroidery and rhinestone, for some reason it was just easier for me to pick up. But for the silhouette, I've only tried to do it one time. I just have to be honest about it. I really haven't put that much effort in it, but it wasn't user friendly to me. And so I used the silhouette excuse me, the silhouette business edition. I have that one where you can do your rhinestones and everything. And I have done my rhinestone creation and everything, but I cut it out. I cut it with the Cricut. And so this is for Jeanette and her site. And we quilt. Hi, I'm new here. Just just got on. I have a YouTube channel for embroiderers and quilters called We Quilt Studio. Hi, welcome. I think I've been on your channel before. Have you not been here? I think you've been here. But anyway, I have been on your channel. I've been on your channel. Okay. So, and the other person that I was talking about is Kathy. So those are the two people. Now with Jeanette, I just found out about her being a rep for Mighty Hoop, but I've known Kathy for a while, like I said, because I was introduced to her a couple of years ago when I first started embroidering, and she's a darling, she's a sweetheart, and it's really quick turnaround. Mary, you say you still have your cricket expression. And Tisha, I have the very first Cricut machine and still use my cartridge. So you knew what I was talking about. My daughter got me hooked on Cricut products. And okay, Becky said her sister has a channel to Nancy Gibbs. Yes, she does. Because I remember her saying that her sister had a channel. So thanks for putting that up. Let's see. There it is. This is Jeanette's sister that's in Miami, and she has this channel here, Nancy Gibbs H and Q. Oh, great! It must have been a while. I don't know. We Quilt Studios. I don't know, but your name is so familiar. Marissa, you said I love my silhouette machine. I'm cutting with it now. I also have a Cricut and a Brother Scan and Cut. They all do something different. I have my expression also. I even have the baby book. Yep, yep. Val, I feel the same about Cricut and Silhouette. I design on Silhouette and cut on Cricut. Okay. So it's not just me. It's not just me. And I don't know if it's because Cricut, I just gravitated. I got it before I got the Silhouette. And I specifically, in all honesty, got the silhouette for the rhinestone. But when I realized that you could do the design on silhouette, but you can also do the cut on Cricut, I just didn't, like I said, put that much effort in learning the silhouette. But I need to. And you mentioned that you have the silhouette, the Cricut, and the scan and cut. I was this close to getting the scan and cut because I wanted to be able to um, do the transfer from my machine to the scan and cut when you're cutting out appliques. I don't do quilting, but appliques and stuff like that. But I was reading something, or either on YouTube, can't remember which, where you can do that with Embrilliance. Did anybody know that? That you can send your design to Cricut from Embrilliance. Don't know how to do it, but I know you can because I read it. I think I was on Embrilliance site, but you can do that. So I might look into it so I can get back and let you guys know. But if I'm correct, you can do send your design, especially for your applique, to your scanning cut. And can you guys still hear me? I noticed that design space for a Cricut maker sometimes, what is this? I noticed that design space for Cricut maker sometimes won't take an SVG that I made, but it will take a SVGZ. I don't know what the SVGZ is. Brother Scan and Cut has a rhinestone kit, and Scan and Cut is easy to use because you don't need to use the internet with it. Okay. So you guys can still hear me. Okay. I was just responding, Andrea. I saw you text me, so I wasn't quite sure if there was an issue. So that's why I was asking about if you could hear me. Okay. Marissa, you have over 300 cartridges and still use them. I have them uploaded to Design Space, and I can't depart with them because I know how much I've spent on it. Exactly. I don't know how many cartridges I have because my Cricut um, is in a box somewhere in storage. But that's what I bought, and that's what I was using. Like I said, I got mine for scrapbooking many years ago, and so that's when I was first introduced to Cricut. And I guess I've still been a Cricut person ever since. But I was tempted, and I still am tempted. I might get that scanning cut. But again, like I said, if Embrilliance will do it, then you probably don't need it. You might not need it. So I'm going to check out Embrilliance, check out and see if I can find that information that I was reading because I was interested. I was intrigued when I saw that because I never knew that, and it said something about you could do that. And from your Embrilliance, okay, we quilt. You said that the SVGZ is a compressed plain SVG. You can save your S. Let me put your up here in case somebody else wants it. You can save your SVG as a SVGZ in the free Inkscape vector program. Okay. I've got Inkscape, never used it. Never used it. Because I got it because I was told that it was something that you needed to do your rhinestones. But once I got Silhouette Business Edition, I just didn't worry about it. There's just some more stuff to try to learn. Marissa, I'm with you. I built my own shelter. I built my own shelf to hold all my cartridges, and I still ran out of space to hold. I didn't get that bad. I didn't get that bad. So I bought quite a few. I bought a lot of scrapbooking stuff, but I don't think I did that much with the um the cricket. But I did. I bought quite a bit, but I don't think I bought that much. In Brilliance, I think you can just export your placement object as an SVG. Okay. Okay, you give lessons to Inkscape and Mbird. All right. We were talking about Mbird last week, and I don't have that software. I'm aware of it. And we were talking about the different embroidery software and the prices pretty much is what we were talking about. And I brought up Mbird even though I don't have it, but I think when I first looked it up years ago, well, I'm not gonna say years ago, a couple of years ago, it was running around 2 grand. So we were just talking about prices. That's all of different softwares and the differences between them. Some because a lot of us here use Embrilliance. We did a poll several weeks ago, and the majority of the people that were in here used Embrilliance. So we were just kind of talking about the differences between using Embrilliance and then some of the higher end software and even some of the lower end software. Mbird is only 330. Oh my goodness! Now, what software did I see that was $2,000? Because it certainly wasn't Mbird. Now, what all does Embird do? Is it just editing? Now, Embrilliance is not $1,200. Hatch is. Willcome Hatch is. But explanation for both. With Embrilliance, as well as Willcome Hatch, you can buy modules. You don't have to buy the whole thing at once. Now, in all honesty, if you buy the whole set, even if you buy it over time, you are going to be out around $1,200. So that part is absolutely true. But I have Essential, which is the first module for Embrilliance, and it's $139. And you can do whatever it is that you want to do mostly and don't have to spend another dime. But I did get enthusiastic because I wanted to do the split designs, and I was told that you had to have it in order to do the jumbo split designs and stuff like that. So that's $179. Now they got a whole bunch of more modules that you can add on. Price by price by price. If you want to get into their Stitch Artist, which is their digitizing part, I think it starts at 200 some odd dollars, and one and two. Each one, as you go up, they're more expensive. And I think one is a couple of $100. I don't know what two is, and I think I saw three was like 300 some odd dollars. But anyway, if you add them all up, yeah, it's going to come out to be 1,200. Will Come Hatch is the same, which I do have that as well. And you can do modules, and you can do it on an annual basis as well. John Deere sells them, and he occasionally has sales, and I've seen it being sold through John Deere when he's having his sale, like 800 some odd dollars, right at $900. So that's it. But I had no idea Mbird was $330, And Inkscape, did I pay $59 for Inkscape? I don't remember. I think I did. I think I did when I got it. I don't think I got it free. I think I paid around $59. Yeah. Once you get all the module, it is 1,200. You are correct. You are absolutely correct. But you are still only dealing with stitch files, not vector objects. Okay. Well, that part is over my head. I don't create designs. I don't do any creation of SVGs, PNGs. I don't do that. I'm not. I don't do Photoshop. I don't even have Photoshop. So that's out of my wheelhouse. Are you a digitizer as well? And this is We Quilt. Do you digitize as well, or you just do your SVGs and SVGZs? Because I don't do all of that. I don't need anything but stitch files, editing and stuff like that. I do have Wilcom Hatch. I do have Brother PE11, and I do know that those are digitizing programs, so they do a whole lot. But I'm not sure. You said Inkscape is free, so I didn't pay for it. Okay, I couldn't remember if I got it free or if I paid for it, but I do have it. Never used it, but I do have it. But that's good to know. I might want to have you be a guest and tell us a little bit about it. Some of us might be interested in Embird as a software that they want to add to their arsenal, especially at that price. And you can do vectors and things like that. And if that's something that they may be interested in, so because I do want at some point to bring people on as guests. Yes, but I don't digitize for others anymore. I have had too many companies from overseas still my design, so I just teach now. Yeah. I've always wondered about that, especially on Etsy. You can see some of the exact same design being sold by multiple stores. And I've even seen some of the same designs being sold by other companies that I don't want to say more reputable, but more, they're not Etsy people. They're not the regular everyday crafter people. They do their own stuff, embroidery design, and um, who else have I seen some of the same? Mainly them. I think mainly them. I've seen some of the same designs. But that's interesting. Yes, being a guest would be awesome. Okay, thank you. I would definitely let me know how I can reach you. If you have an email address that you don't mind sharing, then I will reach out to you because I do want to bring on some guests occasionally. I know I did. I don't think Bill is on here tonight. I haven't seen him, but Bill was on, has been on several times. Matter of fact, every time except for tonight. I don't, like I said, I don't see it. But he did get back with me. He was going to get back with me. We spoke last time talking about the caps and the apparatus that you can use to get your design closer to the brim. And he did get back to me with that information. Also sent me a picture of the cap that he stitched out and how close it was to the brim. So I probably would bring him on one time as well if he's willing to do that. So sure. I am definitely open to bring guest speakers on. So if you can, and if you don't want to put your email, because I don't know if you have a separate email, I do. I'll give you mine. This is my business email, so you can reach out to me because I would definitely love to be able to do that and bring you on to tell us about some of your since you teach Embird and Inkscape. I think that's interesting. If anybody else, I'll definitely have to find out who all's interested in that. But that's cool. That is cool, and you are welcome. So everybody, it is getting a little late. I know we get on here and we get to chit chatting and talking and everything. I think we've covered quite a bit tonight. And I always thank you guys for stopping in. Do not, before you leave, don't forget to like. That's very important to do that. Um, don't forget to give a thumbs up, subscribe, and get notified for my videos and my live stream. Um, Thumbs up and likes are extremely important for a YouTube channel. So I appreciate it if you are, you know, if you don't feel like it's worth a thumbs up, that's cool. I get that. But if you do think so, I appreciate it if you remember to do so. That would be very, very helpful. I would appreciate that very much if you do that. And with that being said, who said that they have Embird 2 for many years? Val, you have. Good. So I've never had it. Val, I learned to split with love to compare with other Embird users. Okay. So we might have a guest speaker. I don't know exactly when. It depends upon her or his. We quilt studio schedule, but we'll chit chat about it and see what we can come up with, and maybe have a little short presentation and just get some information out there. Like I said, I am familiar with both of these software. I've not used either one of them. I'm just familiar with them. So, so all right, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for the night. And thank you, as always, for stopping by. I do appreciate your support. Appreciate everyone that has become a regular. If you don't mind spreading the word out to the other people that you think might be interested, stopping by. And as always, comments are extremely important as well. And if you put some comments in anytime you see a video of mine on YouTube. If you can comment on there at some point, um, I look at a lot of videos that talk about the analytical aspects of your YouTube channel and finding out what's important with channels being successful. And one, besides subscribing, one of the most important thing is your liking a video, your thumbs up, and comment, and what they call duration, which is the length of time that you watch a video. I know everybody doesn't have time to watch a video from beginning to end, even if they're short videos. But the longer you watch a video, the more that benefits the channel that you're looking at. And what that does, that helps that channel to be able to stay on and grow. So that is much appreciated. And with that being said, I thank you guys and have a wonderful night and the rest of your week. And I will talk to you next week. Bye. Good night.